Hello, guys. Welcome back to episode 3 of Ish, My Psychic Says with J Bell and Sam. Last week, we talked about feminine versus masculine energy.
Correct.
And that was, I think we could have talked about that for a while.
I think we could have done several episodes on that because it's so...
It's intense and it's deep. It's layers to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't want to do all that. Maybe we could have did a part 2.
I mean, we can go back and visit it later.
Right? Exactly. Well, before we get into our topic today, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
Making good decisions. All that. Trying to anyway. See, I'm making that face because she already knows. Okay. So this week's topic, we're talking about soulmates. It's a huge topic across because there's different meanings and there's different types of soulmates, right?
Yeah.
You know, like when you think of soulmates, I think at least for me, when I was growing up, I only thought about romantic soulmates.
Right. I think everybody only thinks about romantic soulmates because you think your soul has a mate and you're thinking it's just this one other person, your counterpart.
Right, exactly. But soulmates come in different things.
Oh, yeah. You could have a best friend who's a soulmate. It's just like a soul connection that you have with another energy.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, if I could wrap everybody's head around a new concept, we'll talk about the whole thing. But, you know, your soul and your mate is you. Like, you're your first soulmate.
Right. You have to be connected to you first before you connect to anybody else.
Because your soul's connected to your body, and your body is the mate of that soul.
Right. And, you know, if you're not connected to yourself or connected to who you are as a person on the inside, you can attract the wrong type of person in your life.
Oh, absolutely. You are what you attract, 100%.
Yeah, oh, I'm glad you said that because I've been thinking to myself, and we've talked about this off air a lot, how the type of people and the type of men that I've been attracting in my life as of late. And I was like, I don't want to attract those type of people anymore because that's not what I want in my life. So I'm trying to attract what I want.
Right. Well, we evolve, we change a lot in our life plan.
Right.
And you're always going to attract something different because you're always going to grow past something that you once thought was the coolest thing. Mm-hmm. Then years later, you look back and you're like, what was wrong with me?
Right. Exactly. I think about that with a lot of men that I can't even say date, but messed around with.
But that's connected to when we were talking about energy as a spectrum.
Yeah.
When you're low vibrational, you're going to attract low vibrational beings. When you're high vibrational, you're going to attract higher vibrational beings. The higher vibrational beings challenge you in higher energy and pushing you and challenging you.
Right.
And the lower also challenge you but drag you down deeper.
I can agree with that. I can really attest to that. Just based on past experiences. We don't have to go all into it because who wants to rehash all that stuff? Right. So to the topic of soulmates here, you got romantic, you got friendship, you got yourself. Sam's going to talk a little bit about the different layers of being soulmates.
Right. And the only way to get people to understand what a soulmate, the concept of a soulmate is to rewind and talk about the concept and how long it's been around. Like, why do people believe in soulmates?
Right.
So the belief in soulmates is that concept that has been around for centuries, deeply rooted in various cultures and traditions. Mm-hmm. People believe in soulmates for a variety of reasons. And the reasons are because everyone's looking for an emotional connection.
Right. Yeah, we all want one.
The idea of a soulmate often stems from the desire of or for deep, meaningful connection with another person. And I think that's kind of like the number one is people seek people because they desire connection on an emotional level. Mm-hmm. Fulfillment and happiness. For centuries, people have come to believe that your soulmate is the ultimate fulfillment of your life, the ending phase, the missing puzzle piece.
Right, yeah.
So they think that it gives an individual a sense of purpose and fulfillment as they believe there is someone out there who's meant for them. And I think all of us romantics, we love that. We love love. We love seeing people in love. And we all have that vision in our mind that we're going to meet someone who sees us eye to eye and understands us and the relationship isn't hard. You know, there's also destiny and fate where we have a lot of situations where people have found their soulmate or their other half just out of nowhere.
Right.
You know, they weren't even looking for it. They weren't seeking it. And I feel that people who seek it struggle because they chase it.
Yeah.
And people who don't seek it, it just
falls.
happens.
Yeah, it falls
and
into
they
the
have the choice to either go into it or self-sabotage it because they fear that they are non-deserving. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
The longing for connection too. A lot of times with our traumas and social standards, we are made to believe that no matter what in life, like, have you ever heard, like, there's always more fish in the sea, or there's always...
Yes, there's a lot of fish in the sea.
Yeah, like, oh, that didn't work out, but there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Yes.
and stuff like that. And it's the same concept of, you'll find your fishy.
You'll find your fishy.
Right. In a world where many people feel disconnected and lonely, the belief that a soulmate can offer a sense of hope and connection, reassuring individuals that there is someone out there who truly understands and complements all of their traits. Because if we look at soul connections, I would rather call them soul connections, and then we'll break it down to what other type of connections there are, because there's more than just a soulmate.
Yeah.
And we can kind of talk about that and, like, understand what each one is. The one thing that's in the negative with this whole soulmate is that people become very desperate, or over or hyperfixated on finding a soulmate. And those reasons are because of social pressures.
Yeah.
Society often places a strong emphasis on romantic relationships and finding the one.
Right. Yeah.
Right? This societal expectation can lead individuals to feel pressured to find their soulmate in order to conform to perceived norms of happiness and fulfillment. And it goes all the way back to even biblical, because they suggested that the woman was made from the man's rib, like Adam and Eve.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like romance novels, like there's always that one person who, no matter what, will always choose you and you will always choose them.
Yeah.
And then, have you ever heard of the red string theory?
No.
So the red string theory, I don't remember the whole story of the red string theory.
Okay.
But it's this invisible red string between two people that, as time goes on, they get led to each other. And when they do finally connect, it's like everything in their path, the synchronicities, the signs,
Right.
everything was leading them to one another.
Right.
So they would then have relationships in the past that were little pieces of that person, but not the full story.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'll look that up and I'll send it to you, and maybe we can share it.
Right.
But it's like the red string theory.
It makes sense. The basics of what you're explaining kind of makes sense. It's kind of like when you used to deal with somebody or date someone before, and it didn't work out the first time, so you kind of separate and you go on to live your life, and then somewhere along the line, you guys reconnect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you think this person is supposed to be with you because you guys are reconnecting now, and you think it's going to work well. Honestly, I've been down that road way too many times, and every time it has failed me. So soulmate theory to me is not really existent anymore. I truly believe my soulmate is my best friend and my mom. You know what I'm saying? Because I connect with them. I can argue with them. I can fight with them or whatever, and we're good. Like, we come back to it. It's not no drama or, no BS or, somebody else going below the belt when you have an argument.
Right.
And on top of that, they really do accept me for who I am versus a lot of times when you're in a relationship and you think this person is your soulmate, you're changing yourself or you fixing yourself up kind of like to be with this person to fit into the mode that you believe they want you to be.
That's common.
And see,
people,
so that
people
can be,
try to make it fit.
Yeah, instead of realizing that, this is not going to work.
Right, you shouldn't have to change yourself for your soulmate. It just works.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an effortless connection.
But you still, and it's effortless, but you also got to realize that a part of that effortless theory there is you're going to have arguments, you're going to have fights. It's how you handle those things and get back to it versus just walking away and acting as though, oh, well, they like to do this and I don't want to deal with all that.
Right.
And just walking away.
Right. But see, that connects to another reason why people are desperate for that connection, and it's loneliness.
Right.
A lot of times human beings will be in this loneliness and it will drive them to seek a deep connection with another person because the idea of a soulmate offers that promise of companionship and understanding. So if we look back, it's like, okay, social pressure, society places that hold on you,
Right.
where you're like, all right, there is someone out there for me because of the romantic aspect of it. And then there's like loneliness. People struggle with loneliness. They want to feel that. So they become desperate in it, and then they make those situations fit.
Oh.
So they are out of desperation and out of loneliness. When a person is desperate, they'll do just about anything.
Yeah.
When they are that lonely and they're afraid that, oh man, I better make this fit or this work, or what if this is my last hurrah? Like, what if this is the last relationship? What if I don't have anyone after this? They get scared, so they get stuck.
You know, that reminds me, I don't know if you ever watched the show Girlfriends.
No.
Okay. Well, if you have Netflix, or I don't even know if it's on Netflix anymore, but if you have a chance and you can find it, watch the show Girlfriends. There's a character named, people that are watching this, they're going to realize what I'm talking about. Joan Clayton, she played a lawyer. And throughout the whole 8 seasons, she kept looking for her soulmate and kept trying to make it fit with every guy that she was dating.
Message.
Exactly. And she could never get that these people did not work for her.
For a reason.
Huh?
For a reason.
Yeah, exactly. So even like the guy she was, one guy she was dating, his name was Brock. It was played by, what's his name? From a New York Undercover.
I don't know. I'm really bad with TV shows because I don't watch TV.
Oh, I'm terrible. I watch TV all the time. But he played the character Brock. And they automatically thought that they were soulmates, so they were trying to plan this life together after only meeting a short amount of time. And so once she found out that he didn't want kids, all he wanted to do was travel and be an uncle to his niece and nephews, she kept trying to force it to make it work, to make him believe that he, make them want to have kids together.
Make her fit for his soulmate.
Exactly, or fit in his world when she wanted different for herself.
But that's common.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what, when you're explaining that, that is what comes up in my mind.
It's more common for a woman to do that than a man.
Yeah.
Because women have this nurturing desire to want to be needed and nurtured as well. And women are not really nurtured by men.
Yeah.
There's a lot of men out there who do have they're in touch with that like nurturing role.
Yeah.
And they're all married. Sorry, just kidding.
I was gonna say because I know some that's married and it ain't working.
I'm just saying, like the ones that are in touch with that, like I want to nurture you too. I was playing though. Another thing that makes people desperate in this whole soulmate is that what makes that connection fail is the high expectations that people have because they believing in the concept of a soulmate can lead to those unrealistic expectations because we romanticize it. We romanticize the word soulmate so much, and we don't really sit there and get to know ourselves to even consider or realize that it's based off of us. What we attract is what we are, and what we are is what we attract. And so people have this romantic idea that the soulmate is supposed to fix all your problems.
Yeah.
And then people have fear of missing out because in today's fast-paced world, people are exposed to a wide range of relationships and experiences through social media and other channels. This can create a fear of missing out on finding the perfect soulmate, leading individuals to feel desperate in their search for love.
I ain't gonna lie. I, at one point, was very desperate that I was chasing after someone for...
Well, J-Bell, let's be real. I think every human being can connect on the level of we've all had moments of desperate.
Yeah.
I held on to a toxic relationship out of desperation.
Right.
I've done that.
Yeah.
And like, it's crazy when you finally let go, because now I'm in a healthy relationship and it's great.
Yeah.
And like, it's like when you finally let go of that toxicity, of that, like, what were you attracted to in these people? Like, what was it that held you around so long? You do a lot of self-healing. You do a lot of self-recognition.
Yeah.
Then you go through this phase where you don't even want it anymore.
Yeah.
And then it comes. It's strange. It's strange, but it happens all the time.
That's where I'm at. I don't want it. I don't want it right now. Like, I think the thing for me was I was healing from that last situation that I was in. And I've been single for basically 6 years now and started something with someone. But in the midst of that, I realize that's not something that I want right now, because
Right.
it's not going to turn into a relationship, nor do I want one with this person.
Right. Because instead of having the, I would say, promised expectation that it might evolve into something, you're looking at it more realistically because of the things you went through in the past.
Yeah.
Because in the past you got hurt on that road. So this time you're like, no, I'm not going to get hurt on that road.
I'm not going to get hurt, but I also, you recognize red flags in a person that you have dealt with before. And you're just like you said, I'm not going to do it again.
Right.
You know, I don't expect a person to be perfect. I'm not looking for a perfect partner. I'm not even looking for my soulmate.
Right.
But I do realize that I want someone that is going to be that nurturer for me, but not moody and whiny.
Right. But that could be expectations, because sometimes when people are a little bit more emotional, they can be moody and they can be whiny because of that emotion. So it's like, I feel like the perfect person for you would have, they'd have those moods, but it wouldn't be over the top and you'd be able to ease your way through it.
Yes.
The right person is the right person. You don't have to change them and they don't have to change you. Like 1,000%.
And that's what I had to realize. I was like, that when I know who that right person is for me, I'm going to feel it.
Oh, yeah. You'll know it.
Yeah.
Everything around you will just speak it in volumes. Yeah. Their actions, everything that's going on. It's like when it's right, it's right. Mm-hmm. And there is no requirement of having to adjust to a behavior or adjust to anything other than it's just working. It's crazy when you're in a healthy relationship that's actually like soulmate based. Mm-hmm. It just works.
Yeah.
So another thing that messes up this desperation in finding a soulmate is personal insecurities. Individuals who struggle with self-esteem or self-worth may seek validation and affirmation through a romantic partner. So this is another way that a person will force someone to fit into the shoes of the soulmate, is because they are in desperation for feeling those affirmations or becoming a source for validation for the individual, driving them to desperately search for someone who will make them feel complete. Chasing, like a serial dater, someone who's constantly going from one person to the next and the next and the next and the next, because there's like a void or an unfulfilled.
They can't be alone.
Yeah, and every relationship you've noticed with those types of people who work that fast pace, where they're out of one relationship, jump into the next, no time to grieve, no time to do nothing. That's childhood trauma speaking loudly. That's mama issues, that's papa issues. Like, that's trauma.
Yeah.
And people that do that, they only want to feel the lust. They want to feel they're addicted to the placebo. They're addicted to the what is it called? Not the serotonin, but the oxytocin. Maybe oxytocin. They're addicted to just that chase, that high, the thrill of the adrenaline that they get when you start to really like someone. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those relationships they start really fast, they end really fast, because there's no time to really get to know a person. You have to invest so much time and energy, and you have to take the good, the bad with the ugly. Yeah. And as soon as the ugly happens, a lot of people run.
That is true. But what if you know somebody? Well, I'm not going to say know somebody, because you never really know anybody, right?
Right.
You learn things along the way, because people, like you said, evolve all the time.
Right.
You learn people, and you realize there are things about that person that you no longer see as attractive because of...
You grew past it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, let's make an example. You're young, and you like a lot of women are chasing bad boy energy because they want masculine energy to move them into feminine energy. Mm-hmm. It's like that thrill.
Yeah.
But let's make an example. Go back to when you were 18 and look at the type of person you were attracted to. Okay? And in your 18-year-old mind, why were you attracted to that person? If you could reflect back and look at that, you're going to answer some questions for yourself. And then after that, how did every relationship kind of have a weird symbol or a weird connection towards that weird first relationship that you thought was the love of your life? It's like you're chasing, or you're looking for something that you don't even understand. And then look through your eyes now as an adult, and what are you attracted to? It's a lot different from when you're 18.
Yeah, I can honestly say, though, even at 18, and I've never been in love, so I wouldn't even know what that would look like.
There's puppy love. There's a deep connection. Like there's when you feel like, wow, I really care about this person. It doesn't necessarily just have to be because you were in love. There's different forms. But if you look at what you were attracted to and what you found attractive compared to what you find attractive now, you can see your growth. You can see your change.
Yeah, I wouldn't be attracted to either one of those.
Right.
Any of those guys.
Right.
Now.
Like women, and it's sad to say this, but like women will break up with a man who is a workaholic for the guy who pushes pharmaceuticals from his car because he has more time and money for them.
No, I can't do that. I could
But
not.
there's a lot of women who will do it because they're not wanting the partner. They're wanting the validation, the attention. They want someone to pay attention to them. And it has a lot to do with like their social standards and how they were raised. So there's a lot of things with soulmate that we could talk about, but I want to jump into the types of positive soulmates and negative soulmates.
Okay, let's get into it.
All right. So we all heard the term soulmate or twin flame.
Yes.
Okay, so a soulmate is often described as a person who you have a deep instant connection with and you feel like you've known them your whole life or even lifetimes before. Sometimes they can be a romantic partner, but they can also be friends, family members, or even pets. Have you ever looked in the eyes of an animal and you're just like, God, I don't know how I'm going to be without you? Have you ever done that? Because I know a lot of people that are going to listen to this are going to be like, that's how I feel about my dog or my cat or my bird or my reptile, whatever it is. There's always like this harmony and fulfillment, and you don't have to question that relationship when it's a soulmate.
Right.
Now, twin flame is all over social media. People are always hyped up about twin flame, and they think that it's like the ultimate soulmate is your twin flame.
Yeah.
But see, the twin flame is someone who can be a negative or a positive. You can have a positive twin flame, which is very passionate, intense, and transformative, but it also can be challenging and full of turmoil as both partners work through deep-seated issues and grow spiritually. So a twin flame is actually someone who comes into your life, twin, that means, twin, your other half, flame, fire. So it means it could be a heated relationship. It could be someone who comes in and burns your whole world down. It means it could be someone who ignites a fire in you and then leaves you to deal with that. There's so many types of energy connections. A twin flame to me is more of a negative because it's someone who comes into your life and it challenges all your dark.
Yeah, like you see those documentaries on, you don't watch television, but Netflix and Amazon, those documentaries, the people that was trying to force couples together and force them to change themselves was like ridiculous. These people didn't even want to be together.
You're like, oh, if you don't watch TV, what do you do? I'm at home playing with rocks, girl. My stones.
But no, like when you because you talked about twin flames before when we first started this whole thing, and I just remember watching those documentaries, and I remember what you were saying in my mind, and I'm watching them like these people are scamming the hell out of other people to make them believe that they belong together when the reality is, they're using this term as something that it's not.
Right. Well, I mean, anything can sell. Social media will use anything that's trending as a word without really looking into the background of it.
Yeah.
Then we have karmic relationships. A karmic relationship is often seen as a type of soul connection that involves unresolved issues and lessons from past lives. These relationships are believed to be intense and challenging with the purpose of helping individuals learn and grow spiritually by working through the karmic patterns or karmic debts. Have you ever had a friend or someone in your path come into your life and you're just like, oh my God, this is my karma? Or you just felt like it was some form of karma. You just don't know when.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that's a karmic relationship. That's something to free you from that karmic cycle.
I think about that now. Maybe that's why.
Then, with soulmates comes past life connections. Some people believe in connections with others that stem from past lives. It's that deep feeling that manifests so strongly with the familiar, the instant bond, the unresolved emotion from previous incarnations. It's almost like you search for each other throughout lifetimes. You feel it in this lifetime, and it's a strange feeling.
Yeah.
That one's weird. I know what that feels like because I'm going through that now. Where I'm looking into this man's eyes and I'm like, I've been lifetimes with you because it just works. It's strange, but it's beautiful because it's nice. And it takes a person to give up all of their toxic or to be accountable for what they bring to the table. Like you just have to let it all go and say, I'm not going to have any expectations. I'm just going to let it go. Before I met Kane, I literally thought, you know what? I'm good. I'm content.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want any of it. I'm just going to raise my kids and I'm just going to do my thing. And then I met Kane and he fits in with like soulmate and past life connection. And it's so creepy because we're talking about it.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, I know what this feels like now. So it's something that I can talk about that it's like, oh yeah, like I felt that. I know what that feels like. It's strange. So when you know, like when you said, when your person comes in and they're your person, when you know, then you have soul group connections. And this refers to relationship with individuals who belong to the same group.
Okay.
They have agreed to be incarnated with each other to support each other's growth and spiritual evolution.
Right.
These connections can involve deep understanding, shared missions, and sense of belonging. So this is like your soul tribe, like people that you're just like, oh, you know what? I think I had a past life with you, and you were probably my mom or you're probably my brother. And sometimes you bicker with someone like they're your brother, or like they're your sibling, right? And you're just like, why do we do that? Since day one, why do we just bicker at each other? But it's never out of any hostility or bad space. It's like this, like we have that familiar.
That's like with one of my coworkers, Michael Gable. All we do is
Bicker.
Yeah.
From day one, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
and
funny.
that could be considered a soul connection. That could be a soul group connection. That means that you may have had intertwined energy with this person in a different life, if you believe in afterlife, if you believe in reincarnation.
I do believe in reincarnation. That's why sometimes I'll be like, I must have did some messed up.
No,
shit in my
you
past life.
didn't.
Because karma be whooping my ass. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Karma is not.
Oh my God.
Then we have like a divine counterpart. The term is sometimes used to describe a soul connection that is divinely orchestrated by spirituality. A divine counterpart is believed to have a profound impact on each other's lives and spiritual paths, often leading to personal growth and transformation. Divine counterpart can be an intense relationship. It's more of a positive than twin flame. Twin flame is challenging. I'm sorry. Every person that I know has had a twin flame experience are hitting me up asking me, will he come back to me? No. A divine counterpart is somebody that you don't have to worry about ever abandoning you. You just know that they're there. It could be a friend. It could be a partner. Any of these. You could have a twin flame in a female coworker that just challenges your mind and makes you feel like, why do I get so angry with this person? And then you see similarities and you're like, why do we have those similarities? It's strange.
I don't have similarities with that person though.
Yeah, but this doesn't limit to just romance.
No, I mean like
I know.
Yeah, okay.
So because the soulmate is often associated with a positive and harmonious connection, some people believe the existence of negative, challenging soulmate relationships as well. We have the karmic debtor.
What is that?
Like a karmic debt, but a karmic debtor.
Okay.
This term is used to describe a soulmate relationship in which both individuals have karmic debts to settle from past lives. So this means that in this life, even though you guys ran away from each other or had something happen in the past life, you found each other again and it feels great, but you just know that it has to end and be done for good. So that's weird. It's almost like they have a lot of karmic debts and karma is just knocking on their door. Karma's knocking on your door. You guys can't make it work. It's just never going to work. Yeah.
I always think about those are like your past exes trying to come back around.
I mean, yeah. Karmic debtors are people who come together in a life journey and they bring out all of the karmic stuff on both ends. It's weird. It's like all the karma comes with that relationship. It's strange. Like nothing could ever go right.
Yeah. That's okay. Go ahead.
Then we have toxic soulmate. This one is described as a soulmate relationship that is harmful and unhealthy and toxic. So when people make, you know how it's trending to be like toxica, like they're saying my little toxica or my toxic. It's toxic soulmate is a very harmful relationship. It's almost like the pain is so bad that you can't leave it alone. It's like you're addicted to the pain and the trauma and the challenge, unhealthy or toxic. While soulmate connections are typically seen as a positive and supportive, in some cases, individuals may experience a toxic bonding, trauma bonding. A trauma bonded relationship is also known as a toxic soulmate.
See, that's what I get a lot of, the trauma bonding.
Yeah, because this toxic bond brings out emotional pain, manipulation, and dysfunction.
I don't know about the emotional manipulation part on this certain situation, but definitely the other stuff, yeah.
So then we have false soulmate, making it fit.
Uh-huh.
Negative. A false soulmate is a term used to describe a connection that initially appears to be a relationship soulmate, but later reveals itself to be deceptive, insincere, and not truly aligning with individuals' highest good. These relationships can cause confusion, disappointment, and emotional distress when you're trying to make it fit. Yeah. When you're trying, in your mind, you're like, this person is the perfect missing link to my life, and they are everything. And then their true colors come out. And that false soulmates you will see with people who suffer from narcissistic traits because they want to portray that they are everything that you want them to be. Therefore, they inflict that mental dysfunction on you to make you delusional, to make you feel that they are the perfect partner.
Oh, okay. Keep going.
Shadow soulmate.
A shadow soulmate. That's new.
This term is used to describe a soulmate relationship that brings to light aspects of oneself that are hidden, repressed, or often leading to discomfort, confrontation, or inner turmoil. Shadow soulmates can challenge individuals to confront their fear, insecurities, or unresolved issues. Shadow soulmates can be girlfriends or friends who make you realize that you have negative traits you got to work on. So all they do is they exist in your life.
Yeah.
And they bring out this side of you where you're like, you know what, I've realized I'm angry. And then it's like, why do I realize that? And then hanging out with this friend, it's like things that they say and things that they do, you're just like, man, are they triggering me? But it's like that shadow soulmate where it's like they're bringing that out to the surface because it's time for you to get rid of it, face it, and deal with it.
Oh, okay, I can see what you're saying. I thought you were talking about the friend, to get rid of the friend.
No, it just happens with random people sometimes where you're like, why do they rub me like that? Why do they rub me wrong? Why do I get mad when they talk? Why do they do this? And then you start to recognize that it's a you problem because they haven't done anything to you. So those ones are weird.
Yeah, that's very weird.
Soul contracts are hard because they're not always negative, but the term is prearranged agreement between souls to come together in specific lifetime to learn and grow from each other. In some cases, soul contracts can involve challenging or difficult experiences that are part of the soul's evolution and spirit's journey. So that's the list. That's the list of like what each soulmate is, and it's important to remember that soulmate relationships, whether positive or negative, are often viewed through a spiritual or metaphysical lens and can vary widely based on the individual beliefs and interpretations because everything we learn is out of perspective of the teacher. Yeah. So what you feel is best for you is just right. But if we could shed some light on a little bit of our view of it, then that's going to help you make a decision of what type of a connection you're faced with, or what do you have around you? What type of people you got around you?
You asking me this?
No, I'm asking the
listeners.
The listeners.
The people that are watching. I was about to say, because type of people I've had around me in the past have been all draining. They've taken. But then I also think about, have I taken from them? Also, I think to myself, do I have a soulmate at all? And
yeah,
I know I saw my mom and my best friend.
You're your soulmate.
You know what I mean. A romantic soulmate.
Eventually.
I know we've talked about this. But back to like the one thing about the portrayal of who you make yourself out to be in order for that person to fit into your world.
Right.
Been there. And it was hell. And I even caught myself even after it was all said and done, still trying to fit into that person's world to make myself be what they wanted me to be, which is friends when I didn't want to be friends.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is all so confusing. I didn't realize there were so many layers to soulmates. I thought it was just, romantic friend twin flame and like,
Oh, there's so many more. That's just kind of like on the surface, dabbling into this topic and not overwhelming the listeners too much, even though it was a lot.
I'm overwhelmed because I'm like, Jesus, I didn't realize there was so many in that, just thinking about it, but also thinking about the positive would be great for me. But I think about the negative side only because I've been in those situations.
Yeah.
Many times. Matter of fact, I was just thinking to myself, my whole dating life has been absolute trash. Absolute trash. Even now, as I tried to dabble back into dating, and he's not a trash person, but I saw signs where I was just like, it's not going to work for me. But I also realized that this is not something I want to continue doing because I don't want to be in another situation.
Right.
Casual situation. And so I'm looking for someone that is going to make me their passenger princess. That's going to take care of me.
Right.
Because I'm tired.
I know, but the only thing that's holding you back from that is location.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
And stuff that we got to still kind of work on and stuff. The right person will come in the right time frame. But if you're keeping yourself hidden all the time, how are they going to find you? That's one thing that I had to realize is that I was hiding behind toxicity for a long time. I was hiding behind people who were non-deserving of my time and energy.
Right.
I had to have somewhat of a mental break of saying enough is enough. I have no desire. I have it's like you finally ultimately let go. So if I could make a suggestion for all the listeners, if you are stuck in an unhealthy relationship, you got to figure that out.
Yeah.
You got to figure out if it's unhealthy because of you or them or a combination of both of you. If it's unhealthy, then you have two options: get it fixed, or get out. We have to stop wasting so much time. We don't have time. Time is something we will never get paid back in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And time is more valuable than anything we have on this planet. Because we have such limited time.
Yeah.
Every day we're running out of time. It's like a bank account that never gets money put in it.
Well, you think about it. I think I read somewhere that the Earth is actually spinning faster.
Yeah.
Just making time go by faster. So, yeah, you're right. We don't have a lot of time on this earth. So you got to make the best of it, regardless if you find romance in your life or you find someone that you believe is your soulmate. You have to work on yourself first. And I think that's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, I healed from my ex. Now I'm trying to heal things that I need to do for myself.
Correct.
And I think that being involved with someone right now is not the best idea, especially when I've already compromised myself in certain ways.
Right.
In that situation.
So figuring out that first step is probably the hardest because we want to make things fit. And don't go into love out of desperation. Go into love when you're ready to reciprocate both ways. Like taking and giving, because it's both of those. Like you can't just be a giver.
Yeah.
You can't just be a taker.
Yeah.
So when you're open to becoming more balanced or equal with yourself, love is going to get a lot easier. And if you have a soulmate connection already, like appreciate it. Be very thankful that you were lucky enough to find those types of vibrations in your life, whether it be romantic or non-romantic. Doesn't matter. If you're lucky enough to find that connection with someone where there's never any issues or it just works.
Yeah.
Consider yourself lucky. Because a lot of people are out there searching, but to all you people who are stuck in this melancholy or in a cycle, your soulmate is not the Amazon delivery driver. I'm sorry. It's not the Uber Eats. If you're not putting yourself out there
Maybe at the gas station.
No, sorry.
You told me to go down to the gas station.
Because that's where I feel the prettiest, because I get complimented the most. If you're feeling down, just go to a gas station. I promise you there will be some man sitting there asking for change telling you are the most beautiful woman on this planet. And that alone can make anyone smile or cringe. I smile.
That actually happened to me. I was at the dispensary, and this young man was hanging outside of it. So I was nice enough to buy him a couple of pre-rolls. Now, after I bought him the pre-rolls, he was like, "Oh, your hair is so pretty. You look so nice." I was like, "Go ahead, take your pre-rolls," because I was like, "I ain't trying to hear that right now." You just want your pre-rolls.
I mean, it's nice.
It is nice. It's nice to be told that. And I can be honest with you. I have not heard that in a while. But I also know that
You don't really go anywhere other than home and work.
Yeah, because I got anxiety going out. I'm not comfortable going outside. That's real. That's a whole nother conversation. Like I went to a concert. It was fun. Had a blast. I was ready to go home. I cannot lie to you. Plus, when you in the middle of inflation and can't afford shit, excuse my language, people. I pay rent. I'm gonna stay where I pay rent.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's basically what it is. I would love to go out more, but there's also not a whole lot of options. And from my understanding,
things are so expensive now.
Things are expensive, but from my understanding, and maybe I'm wrong, okay, but out here, a lot of black men don't like black women. They say it reminds them of their mother and their sister. That's what one guy told me.
That's crazy.
Huh?
That's just crazy.
That is crazy. And so therefore, I'm like, why am I putting myself out there? Also, too, people have been saying that the men out here, they crazy, too.
They are.
So why would I go outside to meet somebody?
I think it's equally crazy on both sides.
Well, I ain't that crazy, so let me just stay inside because I don't want nobody's side chick, main chick trying to fight me over they guy.
That's bizarre, but it happens.
Exactly. And so therefore, and I'm okay with that. I honestly believe my goal and my mission here was to come, do my job, grow as a talent, get better at it, do those type of things.
You're
focus
doing a
on
great
that.
job.
Yeah, and find my love somewhere else. I wasn't supposed to find love here.
Right. Well, you're supposed to do your healing here, and that's what you've been doing this whole time.
Yeah. That's why it's going to be so hard.
But I think this topic is really fun, and the next topic will be a surprise.
Is it? Is it a surprise?
It's going to be a surprise.
That's a surprise to me. I don't even know the topic then.
That's why it's a surprise.
Oh,
because we haven't discussed what we're going to do next week.
Wait. Well, we kind of did, but yeah, you're right. You're right. We got to figure out our next week topic.
Surprise!
Right. But guys, if you have any topics you would love for us to discuss or talk about, hit us up in our DMs. You can hit up Sam at hers. Are we doing TikTok or are we just doing Instagram?
Instagram, sacred.moon, SAKRID_MOON.
And then you can hit me up on mine's the J Bell Show, THEJBELLE show, because people like to spell it without the E at the end.
Even if you want to write in some stories that are similar to the topics, we could always read them and talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we want to do the connection. We want you guys to connect with what we're doing, and we don't mind. We can do a show where we're reading stories and putting input in it. That's fine as well.
Right, and we also can do a Q&A. So if you have questions for Sam and you want her to answer them for you,
do it on the podcast.
DM us, hit us up. If you want to email me, email jbellmedia@gmail.com. Email me there. We'll get those stories out for you. We'll also get those questions out for you. In the meantime, we're going to go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace out.